mentioned this, and I just figured I'll talk about it because I have talked about it, but I haven't talked about it a lot. But, since March 1st is coming up, it's between March 1st and April 16th. I have a really rough time. I did have a miscarriage in 2011. March 1st was the day I got pregnant, and I know people are like, how the hell do you know exactly the day you got pregnant? Well, when I didn't have a boyfriend and and even when I did, it was long distance, so it was easy to figure out the dates that I had sex. Like, I can't recall any of them anymore, but like back then I was able to, like, yeah, I had sex this day, this day, this day, and then I had sex this day, and with this person, and I mean, I make it sound like I've had sex with a lot of people, which I really haven't. Especially at this point, I had sex with one person before the guy that I got pregnant with, which we went on one day and we hooked up, and then we went on a date the next week and we hooked up, and I had gotten the depot shot for the first time, and I was a week into it, and it wasn't actually there all the way active or whatever, however you want to put it, and I learned that the hard way. I got pregnant, and the depot shot lasts for 12 weeks, so I was 6 weeks and 4 days pregnant. Wait, yeah, 6 weeks and 4 days. 6 weeks and 4 days, yeah. That sounds right to me. And I was having a really bad period, and I'm like, I had read that birth control can give you a really bad period, and I hadn't really had a lot of experience with like semi-permanent birth control, which I say that for anything that's not the pill. And so I was like, okay, I'm just getting rid of everything that doesn't need to be in my body, and so that I can, not have a period for a while. And one night I felt a gush as I was walking to the bathroom, and this might be graphic, I'm sorry, but whatever. And I didn't even sit down on the toilet because I just had a really bad sinking feeling in my stomach. And I got in the bathroom and closed the door, and I pulled my underwear down to about my knees, and I felt another gush, and I'm going, oh god, I'm going to bleed on the floor. I'm going to have to clean up blood off the floor. Gross. Like, I don't like blood. Which, I mean, I'm a girl, so I should be used to blood. My own blood anyway, but I don't like blood. And I looked down because I heard a like plop sound on the ground. And I looked down on the ground, and I knew instantly my heart sunk, my stomach jumped up into my throat, my heart was beating so fast I almost couldn't breathe as I looked down at the floor, and I knew what I was looking at. It was about the size of a credit card, so, about this big, maybe. Anyway, you know what the size of a credit card is. There was it had veins, and it was purplish, and to me it looked like there was fingers a little bit, just like the indents of like fingers like this. And I knew that it was a fetus. I knew instantly that it was a fetus, and I didn't quite know what to do. I went back in my room and went to the kitchen and I found a Ziploc bag. And I went back into the bathroom and I picked up the fetus, and it was still warm. I remember that it was still warm, and sorry guys, hold on. Sorry, I'm having a hard time. I've never really told this story before, especially not for like the world to hear. I'm just gonna take my glasses off in case I cry. Like, it was was the early morning of April 16th, and I was just like floored that I had just had a miscarriage. 3 feet away from my, well, not 3 feet, like 20 or 30 feet away. It was really close, in my opinion, to my sleeping 13-year-old brother. Was he 13? No, he was 14, sorry. He was 14 because I was 20. And a couple weeks before that, the father had told me that he was moving back to Oregon, so we weren't going to talk anymore. And I mean, if I had had the baby, I would have went after his ass for child support. But I remember I went outside in the rain in the middle of the night to my mom and dad's trailer because my brother and I were living in the house with my dad's brother and his girlfriend at the time. And I went and woke my mom up, and she takes morphine, so like she has all kinds of weird dreams, and like sometimes I'll go talk to her in the middle of the night and she's like, did I dream that? I'm like, yeah, you dreamt that. Or no, I told you that, it's okay. And so she told me, just, you probably had a nightmare, it's okay, go to sleep, I'll talk to you in the morning. And of course I couldn't sleep, so and this was 8 days after I had met Ryan, and I think we'd been dating for 6 days at this point, because we talked for like 2 days, and then we just decided that we were going to be boyfriend girlfriend online. And my mom came and woke me up around 9 o'clock the next morning, and she's like, did I have a dream, or did you come in my room and tell me you had a miscarriage? Like, I know you're having sex and stuff off and on, so I thought you were on birth control. What's going on? I said, I don't really know. I don't really want to talk about it. I had the fetus inside of a Ziploc bag, and I had it in my supply box because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. And my mom took it, and she went up the hill because we were living in like kind of a wooded area, and she buried it under a tree. I still to this day don't know exactly where she buried it at. I just know that it was on my uncle's property somewhere. 28 North Point Road, Cohasset, California. And my dad's brother is a jerk. So, my mom told everybody that I'd had a miscarriage. I was really angry for a while about that. But the hardest part about it, because at first it didn't really hit me, I'm like, okay, I had a miscarriage, big deal. Okay. I never felt it move. I never had any pregnancy symptoms. I never had anything, so I don't really give a shit. And I remember just being really worried Ryan was going to break up with me because I had been dating him and been pregnant with somebody else's kid. I remember I called him the next day and I'm like, I need to tell you something, and if you want to break up with me, it's okay. He's like, would you cheat on me or something? And I'm like, no, with who? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I was just asking. I'm like, no, you remember that Spencer guy I told you about? He's like, well, yeah. You had sex with him like twice? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, I guess I was pregnant because I had a miscarriage early this morning at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, you had a what? I was like, you heard me right, I had a miscarriage. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we had our couples talk, and it was a lot. And I mean, it just took a few years for it to actually sink in that I had the potential to have had a child. And I think the only reason I'm not as upset now is because Brian has a son who was born a month before I got pregnant. So it's kind of sort of like I never actually lost the pregnancy that I lost. I don't want to say child because at 6 weeks it's not a child, it's a fetus. And there was a number of years where I did not want to be a mother. I did not want to get pregnant. I was determined that as soon as I was old enough, I wanted to just get a hysterectomy and never have kids of my own. And now I'm to the point where I'd like 1 or 2 of my own. But I think I just want to be pregnant one time so I can just experience it one time. And then just be done with it. Because as far as I'm concerned, I already have 2 babies. Even though they're older. But Brian's kids I love them. I think I love them more than I could love a natural child because they were a blessing, and I was very lucky that when I found Brian, I also found 2 babies. And I know they're probably going to be like, we're not babies when I say that to them, but they're my babies. And I'm not trying to horn in on their mom relationships with them or anything. I'm just bonus mom, you know? I bought Brian and I got them free, so I'm happy every day because, well, I have an angel baby, and I hope one day to have a rainbow baby. I have 2 children, and I didn't even have to get pregnant to have them. That's just something that means a lot to me, so. This was a question that I was asked, but I don't know why I decided to finally tell this story in detail, but I struggle every Mother's Day because I don't feel like I deserve to get to celebrate. I'm not a mother. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not. I mean, well, now I am. This year I am. I'm a bonus mother, but I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a mother. So, I mean, I'm not really sure why I decided to tell this story, but I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. You can give me a thumbs down if you want for having unprotected sex with someone I barely knew. If you think the miscarriage was my fault because I was misinformed by Planned Parenthood, go ahead and give me a dislike. I really don't care. Thumbs downs don't really bother me. I am pro-choice for everyone. I myself could probably never go through with an abortion, but anybody who thinks that that's what they want to do or that's what they need to do for themselves, I'll support you till the end. At the end of the day, I'll support you, and if you're someone that I care about, I will fight with you right alongside of you for your right to be able to do that. And anyway, this has been an emotional video, and I'm sorry about that. But I love you guys, and thank you for watching. I will talk to you again soon. Bye. Okay, now it's recording. It only took like 10 seconds after I pushed the record button. Anyway, hi everybody, it's Leena, and I hope you are doing well. How are my ballerinas doing? I hope you're all doing really well. I haven't gotten a lot of questions, but I have gotten a few questions, and I just kind of wanted to make a video, and I figured that questions wouldn't be a bad idea, and maybe it would spark more questions. I mean, I'm pretty much an open book, so I've gotten a couple people asking me if Leena Cyrus is my real name, and no, Leena Cyrus is not my real name, not legally. My real name is Colleen, and my last name is Cottrell, Cottrell. I pronounce it Cottrell even though it's Cottrell. But, when I was in 6th grade, I actually spelled my last name with an A because I just liked writing A's so much. And Leena, when I was a kid, people called me Colini, and that was all well and good and fine. Two of the people, one was a little boy who he's basically will always be my older brother. He passed away when he was 11 and I was 4. No, it was the year I turned 4. It was in April, so it was like 5 months before I turned 4. And his name was John David. And actually, I have a picture of him, or a poster with him in it, on my bedroom door, and I will add that in right here. Hold